Hey guys, what's up? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. In this video, I want to talk about the dip and talk about it in a way where I want you to have perspective on the dip and where you are within the dip. And once you gain perspective of this, I think it would really make things clearer and help you get through this period of time and help you reach your goals. Now, what is the dip? I've talked about this in the past. This Seth Godin, I think, was the first to coin the term dip in his book, The Dip. Basically, the way I see the dip, and I paraphrase through all the things and books that Seth Godin wrote, but the dip is basically the period of time. It's like a dip, right? It's a period of time from the time you have an idea to the time you reach the end goal. So an idea could be you want to write a book, right? And so when you embark on writing that book, there's a period of time called the dip, right? That Seth Godin refers to. And I think the coining of that phrase is excellent, because the dip is very hard to come out of that, right? So you want to, you want to land a job, right? There's a dip from the point when you start to the point you actually get that offer. Okay, and the dip is this very dark place. And not a lot of people, not a lot of successful people who have gone through dips and gotten out, they briefly brush over this. They don't really resonate with people who are going through the dip. They kind of gloss over it and say, you know what, you could be rich, if you just do these steps and, take my course or go to my seminar, whatever, right? But nobody really resonate with people that are going through the dip. And this is like, this happens all the time. I'm preaching on this because I've gone through the dip, and a lot of people that I speak to, I've gone through the dip in some of those areas. Like, for example, I spoke about how UI UX designers fit within an agile environment, right? So I'm speaking about how things work once you have the job. But I get so many emails and I speak to so many people that aren't even there yet, right? Somebody hit me up recently, Mike, 14 months, hundreds of interviews I sent out, hundreds of phone calls or whatever, nothing, still out of work. Another person recently, I went on 7 interviews, all said, nice, but no thank you, or whatever, right? Folks are discouraged. Now this is real life. This is people going through this. This is what dozens and hundreds of people are going through. And from the time you say, I want that job, or I want to be a UI UX designer, I want to be a product designer. From the time you open up Sketch and start learning some things, right? To the time you go through and build your first personal project, to the time you build a collection of those projects, build a portfolio, write your resume together, submit your, build a LinkedIn page, right? Update your profile page, update your resume. Start sending out your resume and trying to connect with recruiters, getting recruiters to email you, getting recruiters to take the phone, give you a phone call, accepting the phone call, not being nervous enough to screw up the phone call, getting them to set up an interview with you, being hella nervous, going on that interview, not wanting to screw up, speaking to the hiring managers thinking you screwed up, doing that several times, and then one day getting the phone call saying, we want to make you an offer. Heart beating, I want to kiss my mom, or tell my mom, tell my spouse, tell my girlfriend, tell my boyfriend, and getting that job, and then you get that job. From that first point to that end result, it's this dip. It's hard. It is a complete grind, and it's not fun, it's not easy. This dip is the point where there's nobody there to help you through it. It's a period in time where There's nobody there holding your, you know, looking over your shoulder, giving you a pep talk. You got to do it on your own. I'm going through the dip in several things. You know, I've reached what I feel called the American dream in my life. I've reached all my goals, and I had to recreate my goals to push myself even further. So give myself more things to do, and now I'm in between the idea and the period. So I'm going through a dip in different phases. One thing that I feel that helped me out was I was reading a book recently, and or last, you know, a couple months or so, and this book called 10X by Grant Cardone. I love motivational books. This book resonated with me to like no other. Basically, there's a chapter in this book. It was talking about, you know, you gotta basically put massive levels of action to get to a, you know, to succeed, right, in the things that you want to achieve. But one particular chapter where it talks about, and I've listened to Grant Cardone stuff like over and over since then, and he explained this part, and he doesn't speak on it now, but because this book was written I think 4 or 5 years ago, but it's a part where he talks about you got to look at success as like your moral, like a moral obligation, like an ethical duty. So to that degree is like when I put more goals that I want to achieve from like basically the period of where you have an idea and where you think you could go. Like I think I could be speaking on stage. You know, I think I could write books. I think I could probably write a New York Times bestseller, you know, on the subject of product UI design and the ins and outs of the industry based on my knowledge and how different I think based on what's out there. I really think I can write a New York Times bestseller. I think I could, you know, speak on stage and reach a lot of people, because there's a lot of people who I resonate with through my YouTube videos, but I feel I can resonate with millions more, you know? So I put those out there, I put those ideas, those goals out there, and basically you gotta think and say, it's a moral, ethical duty that you reach your potential. That's my potential, right? So I have to think to myself that it's an ethical, moral duty for my life to reach those goals. And so you have to do the same. You should do the same thing. Think of it as where you want to go, that it's a moral, ethical duty to reach that. And the only way you get there is continue to put effort, maximum effort, what does he say? Massive levels of action towards those goals. So, you know, for those of you who are struggling with getting a job and the interview, you got to keep putting it out there. Keep doing it out there. Those of you who are not in that area, what do? You got to put massive levels of action towards learning a craft, building up your portfolio. I had a video where I say sometimes you got to scrap your entire portfolio. You got to scrap it all and start over, right? So maybe you've gone on 7 interviews, 8, 10 interviews, and it took you a year to do your resume. I mean your portfolio. It's not working? Scrap it. Take a good look at it. Maybe scrap it. Or just put it to the side and start working on new things, new concepts based on what I'm saying. There's new stuff out there. There's people who have jobs. There's people who have these top-notch projects. Copy them, right? Reinvent it. Just keep going. You got to continue. You don't want to stop. A lot of people are like, should I stop? Should I get out of UI, UX design? Should I not be a product UI designer? No. That's your potential. Your potential is you see yourself in getting a job. You see yourself like, I'm speaking about those who maybe not have a job, right? You see yourself in having that job and having that salary. That's your potential. It's your moral, ethical duty to get there. And so how do you get there? Is keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep pushing through that dip. And realize that you're in the dip. Have this focus of thought that, you know, it's my ethical, moral duty to actually reach my potential there. And once you have that perspective, you're just gonna keep pushing, you know, and just realize there's folks like me who resonate or will resonate with you and understand that where you are in dip, you need to be there. You know, you need to be there and know that You know, it's not, you don't have to have the Ferrari. No one's expecting you to have the big house with the pool, fancy pool, and the awesome vacations. Nobody is expecting you to have that. You need to be where you are and continue to grind it out, because everybody needs to go through this period in order to reach something of value at the end. Hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got a nugget or two out of this. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribing. And visit my website, mlwebco.com, if you have any questions. I'm always there to read your emails, and I'll be happy to answer any questions for you. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll talk soon, guys. Happy Friday. Peace.